This is Jonah Mitro, co-founder of Precision Pro Golf, the best damn rangefinder out there. I'm here with my co-host,
Billy Annesley, co-founder and CEO of Banty, your favorite social golf app, and we are here to talk some golf.
Let's go.
Oh, necked it.
Actually, I think it's a kick forwards and to the right.
That intentional runner, it's going to get there. Oh, excuse me. Well, look at this one.
This could be close. This could be really close.
Jonah, what is buzzing around the golf world?
So last night I was online and got a couple posts that popped up in my feed. So I've heard mixed reporting from this. All right. This may or may not be true, but it's reported that Bryson DeChambeau asked for a $260 million extension with LIV Golf, which they essentially turned down. So he's going to opt out of his contract at the end of 2026 and go back to the PGA Tour. I do have to say this isn't verified by anybody. This is through kind of social media. Again, I've heard mixed reporting on this, but let's just say if this is the case, what does this mean for LIV Golf and PGA?
Back to our last episode, it will cease to exist. Bryson leaving, he is the most entertaining person on that tour, and he's the best golfer on that tour right now, maybe beside Jon Rahm. And it's just great for the PGA if it is true, very bad for LIV if true.
So I think there's a couple of angles here. Number one, there's a bunch of players that signed 4-year deals. So Bryson, Brooks Koepka, Sergio, and Phil are some of the top 4 names. You could say they're somewhat irrelevant now because they've been on LIV and they're getting older. But we know Bryson and Brooks are still kind of the top 2 outside of Rahm. They each have 4-year deals expiring end of 2026. Jon Rahm's contract goes through 2028. So let's just say that those 4 guys, right, they don't get to renew it at the contract number they want. They say, you know what, we're done. We're going back to PGA Tour. What happens to LIV? Do you want to watch a bunch of mediocre sub 50 to 100 world ranking guys play a course you have never heard about? I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting scenario. Even if you lose a couple of those guys, right? Even if it's just one of them, Bryson.
LIV is on its downhill slope and it's starting to roll fast.
So they spent $5 billion. So I can think there's a couple angles here. Number one, if I was PGA, I would slow roll this merger until the end of the year and just see what happens. It goes against my initial thoughts of do they actually merge or not. I think LIV is not going to give up Bryson and the players, and they're going to try to re-sign him.
Do you think they will re-sign him for the full amount that he's asking for?
I mean, what's in the value of that name? If they own those players for 5-10 years in a contract, it kind of forces PGA's hand. I don't think those players are going to lock that in unless it's some ridiculous number. Time will tell. I have to say that I was talking to a couple people earlier today, and they had a really good kind of thought process here. Why doesn't LIV go after the LPGA or go after the DP World Tour and own those tours and create something where they can buy it for less than $1 billion? You're talking a couple $100 million, and start building a worldwide tour, which is what they want to do, right? With players. So, and it's an interesting scenario where money isn't the end all factor now, right? These guys want to be relevant. They want to play against the best players. They want to play in the majors and the Masters and the PGA, and they want to be in a situation where they're competing against the best players, but maybe not playing in 30 events a year.
I think Bryson is a unique case here because there's no leverage on the amount of money he's asking for contract-wise because he's not getting offered that in any sort of way to go back to the PGA Tour. But where I think Bryson has been really smart is building his social media presence and the value he brings with impressions across the board. And I guess that's maybe where he's justifying asking for this kind of money, because I don't know what value he brings to LIV. Like they pay him $230 million or $280. How is LIV making that money back when barely anybody watches it?
So LIV's investing in the players in the tour to hopefully add this kind of partnership with PGA, and they're kind of part owners in it, right? That's their investment into it. You know, they're going to be owners in it for 50 years, right? Recoup that money. So I think Bryson, if I was Bryson, I want to go back and play on the PGA. I don't want to play in all the events. I have some leverage on both sides. I'm going to ask some stupid number, right? $260 million. They turn it down. I'm going back to the PGA. You know, the PGA wants me to come back. I'm one of the most popular players, right? Outside of Rory and Tiger, right? My YouTube fame has blown up in the last 3 years.
He's had such a turnaround with the public eye on so many people didn't used to like him. Now they do. He's entertaining. He makes good content too. His whole shipping over his house 16-day live feed event, that I tuned in every day. It was so entertaining to see if he was going to make that or if he was just going to hit his house.
So I actually didn't even watch it until after it was over.
It was awesome. I almost thought he should have hit his house on purpose for the views. Yeah, break a window. What's that to him with all of his money he's making? And it just would have been hysterical, and it would have blown up the golf internet.
Final thoughts on LIV. Again, we'll keep our ears to the ground, see what happens. I think PGA is going to add a team event to their schedule. And it's not just 2-person. They're going to do some type of mini tour, 4-person team event, maybe a draft where you draft players and you play for a team, just like kind of TGL does.
Okay.
They will have that in 2026. Because I think some people want to watch that, and it gives people another reason to watch it. They're playing, let's say, 4 events, 1 every quarter, with the winning top 4 teams going to a playoff at the end of the year. Again, it's going to be the top players, but it's built around cities, right? It's the Philadelphia Rockies versus the New York.
This should be good.
What is New York known for? The Rats? The
Pizza slices?
The New York Subways? The Subway series.
Funny because the first thing I thought of was rats.
So, all right, time will tell. So, Netflix, season 3, kicked off last night. Honestly, how many episodes did you watch?
I watched 1. I was able to get 1 in, but like I was saying to you offline, I knew we were going to talk about it on this pod. I had to caught myself getting up, not pausing it. And I was like, I have to go back and watch because we're going to chat about it on the show. And I need to actually pay attention to almost everything they say. So I got 1 full episode in and it was great.
I told myself I was going to watch 1 by 1 a.m. I had watched 5. I had to turn it off. So we're going to stick with episode 1. I got to say, the best part, the kickoff, Happy Gilmore 2.
Absolutely.
The intro
It was
the best they could have done. I'm so excited for this movie. I want to see it the day it comes out, whether it's on Netflix, it's in a theater. I will take the day off to go watch it. I'll bring my kids. I'm so pumped for this thing.
It was a great intro. Awesome content that they put out with Ben Stiller in there, obviously Adam Sandler, and all the guys that were invited to be in this movie. It's crazy kind of that they are all going to be in it. It was a super fun intro, first couple scenes of Full Swing, and I just fully agree.
So how many sequels are better than the original?
Under 5%.
I'd say, 5-10%, right? They're usually not as good.
Some are,
but typically they're not, right? I mean, this one I think is number 2 is going to be better. And especially when you do it 25 after the original one comes out.
That's the new move with Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was awesome.
That was, okay. That one was, that was good, right?
It's different. And I think the expectations are slightly different when it is 25 years later. And it just brings a kind of a different value to the viewing experience.
All right. So I'm going to give you 2 facts that you may have not known about. Do you know who the caddy was supposed to be in Happy Gilmore?
The original?
The original one. Remember the little kid grabbed his bag, and they had the old guy who was kind of like the homeless guy who was carrying his bag. I'll give you a hint. SNL actor, not with us anymore.
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley.
He
was supposed to be the caddy in Gilmore 1, Happy Gilmore 1. However, he was shooting Black Sheep, so
that movie did pretty well too.
Couldn't make it. How much money did the first movie cost, and how much did it make in its theater debut?
I'm gonna guess that movie cost $1.5 million to make, and it made $40 million in the theaters.
Very close. $12 million to make. Adam Sandler was paid $2 million for it, and it made $42 million in the box office in the theater when it came out.
Wow, very close on what it made.
Very close. Now, it does not include what it's made in the last 25 years of streaming and DVD sales. And I know we've rented it 3 times ourselves at $4 a piece, right? So that's $12 right there. We should just buy it from now because my kids love to watch it. So here's my third thing for you. Bob Barker, the notorious Bob Barker scene. He had 2 things. You know, he was a black belt in martial arts.
I did not know that. That is a fun fact.
He said, I'm going to do it, but don't use a body double. I'm going to fight Adam Sandler. I'm going to do it myself, but I have to win.
And I'm sure Adam Sandler ate that up and loved the idea.
So those are your 3 tips that I learned about after doing some research on the initial movie. So season 3 kicks off with Happy Gilmore. I think it's a perfect segue to promote the movie because Netflix is doing it, right? And it jumps right into the Masters. Right? Scotty, right? Wins. Ludwig gets second. And that whole story of kind of like first one, Ludwig's first time he's playing the Masters, right? And how he's like so tuned in and like knows exactly what the numbers are, working with his caddy on how to play the course and manage the course. And Scheffler, again, I mean, going for his second green jacket, just, I mean, plays amazing. So it was a great intro.
It was a great intro. Do you remember how to pronounce Ludwig's name?
Ludwig Aberg.
I thought it was Ludwig Aberg.
I
might be wrong.
I don't know.
We'll check back on the next episode on the correct pronunciation. But it was a quick scene, very quick. But I thought that aside from the Happy Gilmore intro, my favorite part, which I am excited to watch him all season, is Neil Shipley. Body by Waffle House.
He's from Pittsburgh. Top player, won the amateur, got second in the amateur to get into the event, was the only amateur to make the cut, got to play with Tiger, right? Which is, again, his childhood, I mean, superhero, which is amazing. Beat Tiger.
Yeah, he definitely did that, yeah.
Now, do you know he's currently playing on the Corn Ferry Tour?
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how much they incorporate him into the other episodes, or if it was kind of a one-shot deal where they just go after one amateur. But again, great story to kind of learn about kind of his ride as an amateur to get there. Well, again, what's winning? Shooting 80, no bogeys, all par. I mean, every day you step on the course, there's a different kind of target that you set for yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's a score, whether it's accuracy, whether it's improving your putting, short game, long irons. I mean, it's a constant improvement in your game. And yes, probably one of the hardest sports anybody will play.
There's two sides to golf because it is you versus you and you versus the course. So if you break par, you win. If you don't break par, you lose because the game is to break par.
See, I don't.
That's the simplicity of golf from that angle.
I will disagree because 99% of people will say, I will never break par in my life.
That's fine.
So why play? And I don't have the time, the commitment to do it. I'm out there to enjoy the round, enjoy my golfing buddies, to enjoy the outdoors, to walk the course, the nature, enjoy the challenge of trying to get a little round ball into a 3.5 inch cup. So I'm going to say this. The goal of golf is to play well. I will leave it at that.
And have fun.
And have fun. Have fun. You got to have fun. You got to play well.
But I was just looking at it on paper. As a sport, the goal is to break par. At the end of the day, golf is meant to be fun. And if you're not having fun, then maybe try another sport. But you got to not let your performance dictate if you're having fun out there because there's a lot of bad shots to be had. Having fun is the most important.
Having fun, playing well, enjoying the people you're with.
Absolutely.
On that note, it's been fun. Until next time, boys and girls, enjoy the golf. I'm out.
Peace.
Boomerang, your tank come around, wanna hit the top. Ooh, la, 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 la.